Welcome to Acton in Focus. I'm Vivian Kopsinger-Birchall, your host, and my special guest is the Assistant Town Manager, Mr. Thomas Bejan. And I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes, yep, that was perfect.
Well, he's new to town, or fairly new. I just learned it's 8 months, but welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I've seen a number of interviews, and thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's such an honor to have you here, especially since not many of us know about you. Let's start with your name. We had a brief discussion about it right before we started. Mm-hmm. Where is that from?
Sure. So it's pronounced Bejan. It's spelled like begin, and it's French Canadian. And my family, a couple generations ago, immigrated both from Quebec and from Prince Edward Island into Maine, coincidentally, and that's where my mom and dad met, and that's where I came from.
And speaking of where you came from, you just moved to Acton, I think you said 8 months ago, right?
Yep, professionally, yep.
Professionally, yeah, that is. Where were you working before and before coming to the town of Acton?
I was with the City of Framingham School Department. I was the Assistant Director for the Buildings and Grounds Department. And then I'd spent my entire municipal career in Framingham. And I'd worked previously, before that position, in the Park and Rec Department as the Deputy Director. So I have quite a bit of experience in Framingham. And when this position popped up, it was exciting, and I just couldn't pass it up.
What drew you to Acton?
I used to live in Boxborough for a little bit, and Boxborough is a great community, but I always found myself hanging out in Acton, going out in Acton, playing softball in Acton, and Acton's always had kind of a warm spot with me. And, I always kept an eye out to see if there was ever a position that would be great for me. And lo and behold, I'm lucky enough to be able to serve as your Assistant Town Manager now. Well,
welcome to the town of Acton.
Thank you.
Perhaps my next question would be, what does the Assistant Town Manager do?
Sure. I love this question. So I get to do a lot of different things day to day, and my big focus is making sure that every department has support. So if there's something that a department is looking to do, initiative, a goal, policy, whatever, and they need, and there's a gap or they need a little bit of support from the town manager's office, I get to do that. I get to work with everybody individually and as a team. I participate in a lot of different initiatives. Right now we're working on the DPW design for the new facility, and that has a lot of different departments who are involved with that. I've recently stepped into the project manager role for 53 River Street, the project that's going on that Mike Gendron, the former conservation agent, had spearheaded before. And I'm involved with the dog park project too. So it's a lot of different things, and every day is definitely different, but that's the fun part of the role.
Perhaps for the interest of those who don't know about the DPW project, what is that about?
Sure. So the DPW facility now is pretty outdated. It was built, I believe, in the 50s, and it's undersized, it's aging, and it's at a point where the current operation and the future operation don't match the facility itself. And this initiative that was funded for design through a town meeting appropriation will allow us to look at what the deficiencies are and how we can incorporate that into a brand new design and a brand new facility. And the purpose of the working group right now is to get that to a point where we have a budgetary estimate, and we also have a design that would be best fit for the DPW, both today and into the future, and then hopefully bring that to town meeting.
And then for the 53 River Street project,
yes.
What is that status? Because I was there when they were breaking down the dam. But we haven't really updated the town on what's going on there.
Sure. I'm excited to say that a lot of stuff has happened. It may definitely not look like a lot of stuff is progressing when you go by it, because there's the massive rock pile and everything's disturbed right now. But all the buildings have been removed. The overlook has been built and constructed. The reconstruction or reconfiguration of the river itself has occurred and been completed. And right now we're working through some soil contamination removal. We've removed some soil previously and have a portion of soil that requires disposal as well. So we're working through that process. And the intent is still to complete the project sometime next year. So we're pretty excited about it, but like all projects, you always hit a road bump. So we're just, we're working our way through that.
And then the exciting dog park that caused excitement in town. So what is the status?
So that is a very exciting project, that's for sure. So the dog park project, we're waiting on the sewer extension decision and whether or not that would be moving forward. And thanks to an additional contribution from the state, we were able to enter into a contract to continue that project. And we had, or the town held a project kickoff meeting on site. So once that sewer extension has moved past the dog park, or we're able to incorporate the schedule of the construction of the dog park into the sewer extension project, we'll be able to move forward with the construction. Right now, the project's at 90% design, and we're finalizing design or construction documents and final design with the intent of bidding it by the end of the year.
End of the year, that's
Yeah,
exciting.
Yeah, so hopefully construction's completed middle of next year, and people can go out and enjoy the dog park.
Well, that's first of all those are great updates. We appreciate that. Are there any other projects that you're a part of that you'd like to tell our viewers?
Sure. So Recreation had applied for a number of CPC grants. And one of the CPC grants that we're working on is the installation of a shade shelter. If you look at the two athletic buildings, the two red buildings over by Miracle Field, there are picnic tables with tents, and it sits on a concrete pad. And the intent of the grant was, or the grant application was, to install a shade structure all throughout there. And we're working through that procurement and hoping that we can have that done for next spring.
Yay!
Yeah.
So something more exciting. You have been here 8 months, but you said you used to come over to play games in Acton, or to visit Acton. So that was a different mindset, you know, visiting the town, and then as opposed to working for the town. What are some of the things you've learned about the town since you started working in it?
That's a great question. So some of the things that I've learned is the amount of stuff that we do with the staff that we have. Our staff and our team are extremely knowledgeable, dedicated, and they're just so exciting, and they're looking to get out there and change and improve the town. And of course, you don't know this from a day-to-day basis unless you look for the information. And our town is just, our staff is fantastic, and the things that we're doing day-to-day is just remarkable. And when you look at town meeting, we had a number of policies and zoning improvements passed, and that just shows the efforts that the town staff has been making to achieve these.
So let's talk about some of the fun activities that the town has brought back, like July 4th. Can you tell us about how that, you know, how we secured funding for July 4th, which was spectacular, and whether there is a plan to have another July 4th celebration?
Sure. The event was incredible. We had one of the largest crowds ever to show up for a July 4th, and I believe it was estimated between 15 and 16,000 attendees. So the July 4th event, typically when you think about an event, you don't really think it takes months and months and potentially a year to plan, and in this event it did. We had Best Friends Girl, who was a Cars cover band, the premier Cars cover band, play, and they did a wonderful job. And the number of departments who had involvement in the fireworks was incredible. It was public safety, recreation, it was transportation, town manager's office, DPW, cemeteries, a number of different departments. And the funding aspect of it was included in the FY24 budget, so we were able to utilize those funds to pay for the fireworks. And a lot of the funding comes from donations, and it also comes from sponsorships. Maura Haberman, the events and programs coordinator for the recreation department, does a wonderful job in creating the concerts on series annually, and also bringing in the bands, and works to bring in corporate sponsors for each event too. And she's done a wonderful job that helped offset a majority of the costs for the fireworks. And we're hoping for FY25 it's just as, or I'm sorry, for 2025 it's just as big. We'll have some tweaks that'll make it a little bit more user-friendly on the way out, especially. There was there were some delays in getting out. I had some delays as well, but we're working through those challenges, and our intent is to hold a fireworks in 2025 as well.
Right. You talked about the interdepartmental collaborations, especially this was specific to July 4th. But in what ways does your office work with the different departments of the town?
Sure. So I guess kind of going back to what we had talked about first, that really my role is to see where the gaps are in each department and try to help fill it. And for the 4th of July, one of the gaps was bringing everybody together at certain moments and talking through obstacles, challenges, and different things that we could either work together or identify a person to try to smooth things over or get past an obstacle. And the town manager's office is really focused on that, on making sure that each department has the resources and support that they need. And when that support needs, or that department needs a little bit more support, stepping in and providing that. And that's what we did for the 4th of July.
Awesome. Now, the really, really fun part of the interview. I promise this will be more fun. Who is Thomas? What are things you love to do when you're not at town hall?
Oh, sure. The things I love to do. So my wife and I and our 2 dogs live out in Northbridge, which is a little south of Worcester. And what we love to do is we have a vegetable garden. We love gardening. It's very therapeutic, working with the dirt. And then I'm a runner. I love to run. I actually have a marathon coming up, so I've been really focused on training in the mornings. And that's kind of, we all have a little bit of moments during the day just to ourselves. And that's really been my time to enjoy and just get out and run.
Where's the marathon? I'm curious now.
Lowell. I'll be doing
Lowell,
the Bay State Marathon with my brother, so it's
nice.
it's pretty exciting.
Cool.
Definitely. So I would say things I love to do is getting away, taking vacations in my life, runs with the dogs. They don't run as much as I'd like them to. They're good companions, but we get out there a little bit and we run.
All right. And is there anything that we've left out that you'd like to tell our viewers, either about you or your office?
Sure. Well, our office is here to support anybody, so if there's any questions on any of the programs or things that we talked about today, or if there's any ideas or questions that anyone has in the future, we're here to support the community and answer any questions that come up. So feel free to reach out. I'm here to help. The town's here to help, and we're looking forward to working with everybody on some exciting things in the future.
And what's the best way to get in touch with you or your office?
Sure. So our email is manager@actonma.gov. That's the quickest way, and that email goes to everybody in the office. So if myself or John or somebody is tied up, there's always someone who can respond to that email. Or even calling 978-929-6611. I'm still remembering the phone number because it's. But
we'll get the correct one.
Yeah, that'll go to the main number as well, and we can always send the call wherever it needs to go.
Excellent. It was a pleasure having you here to introduce yourself to us and to us as a community of Acton. Hopefully we'll get you back with more serious questions about what's happening in the town after the honeymoon period is over.
This was fun. This is definitely fun. I
But
appreciate
it was a pleasure really meeting you.
Thank you. Same here. I enjoyed it.
And to our viewers, I hope you got to know about our new town, well, not so new, but assistant town manager who's been here 8 months. And you can reach out to the town manager's office to ask more questions or learn about what's going on in the town. But for now, thank you for watching Acton in Focus. Till next time.